Welcome everybody to Extreme Sim TV's coverage of the LSRL Families Fighting Flu Cup Series. We're here at Homestead Miami Speedway for the finale for the Cup Series. We have 125 laps lined up for tonight, and we're underway with qualifying right now. So far, Mike Aiello Jr. is on the top of the board right now with a 31.36. Tonight is going to be a battle between Kevin Winter and Cameron Hearn for the title. However, Cameron Hearn is yet to show up to the race. This is going to be very interesting to see if he's actually able to show up on time or not. Because if he does not, then that pretty much gives Kevin Winter the title by just starting the race. But hopefully he's able to make it to provide a good battle. And now, as I say that, Christian Converse top of the board right now at the 31.182. They have roughly about 2 minutes and 20 seconds to get in their laps. And right now we have Andy Bergante and Joseph Murata on track right now to down their qualifying laps. We'll be able to see if they will top Christian's lap time for the pole. Murata's first lap not going to be good enough. Hermie Sadler is going to jump up to the second spot with a 31.326. So that is going to be the end of Hermie's qualifying run. So he sits in second right now. And there is still no sign of Cameron Hearn. So this is very concerning right now as we are almost a minute away from setting the grid for tonight's race. So no one else seems to be taking a lap right now. So we have about 40 seconds left before we get onto the grid. But what an interesting storyline already. I thought it would be this huge battle between Winter and Hearn for the title, because those two have run near each other basically the whole year, despite Winter not having the win count to compare to Cameron's. It is unheard of the season that Cameron Hearn has had. He's had 11 wins this season. Kevin Winter won one race this season. That was at Charlotte. It's just very interesting that Cameron is not here, which is going to lock up the title for Kevin Winter. And as they are lined up on the grid, it is official that Kevin Winter, sorry, I completely butchered that, but Kevin Winter is going to win the title. Cameron Hearn's not here. So we'll go ahead as we'll quickly go through your starting grid. We'll pull up an interview with Kevin Winter because he's already won the title. Hey, Kevin Winter, it's Landon in the booth. You got a copy?
I hear you, buddy.
Good. So obviously an interesting situation right now. You are in the battle for the title with Cameron Hearn, and he's not here, which locks you up for the title. So go ahead and get this out of the way. But, obviously you have a race coming up, but how does that feel, and how is that going to change your mindset now that you've already have the title locked up?
Well, to be honest with you, it kind of sucks. I'm literally trying to message Cameron right now and tell us to get his butt in here because I'm not going to win a championship this way. He's a hell of a racer. I'd love to race him forward. Unfortunately, we may have locked it up once we take the green flag, but like I said, I'm hoping he comes in and makes an appearance.
Yeah, super disappointing. And I really wanted to see that battle. You two are up with each other every single week. It's so fun to watch you two battle up towards the front. But hopefully he's able to show up. But if not, you have a title locked up. So congratulations on that. And we'll see where you finish tonight.
10-4, bud. Appreciate it.
Thank you for your time. So now we'll go ahead and take a look at our starting grid for tonight's race. On the pole is going to be Christian Converse. Alongside him is going to be Hermie Sadler. In row number 2, we have Mike Aiello Jr. and Derek M. Garrison. Row 3, we have Jeff Converse and Ira Kohlhaas. Row 4, we have Andy Brigante and Joseph Murata. Row 5, we have Kerry Moore and Kevin Winter. In row number 6, we're going to have Sean Huffstutler and Dan Witt. Row 7 is going to be consisting of Leonard Frost and John Henry Allen. Will round out the field tonight. So obviously we're set for a pretty fun race ahead of us, despite a little bit of a rain on the parade for the championship race for the finale, but that's not going to stop us from having a good race tonight. 125 laps. We'll have 2 competition cautions at lap 30 and lap 65. It'll be fun to watch. And honestly, if I had to pick to win tonight, it's got to be Christian Converse. He's just super fast whenever he's in these races, and he gets to run, and he's fun to watch. Pace car pulls off. And we are underway for the season finale here at Homestead for the LSRL Families Fighting Flu Cup Series. Christian Converse going to lead them down into turn number 1. He's got a pretty good gap. Mike Aiello moves into second place. Third is going to be last week's winner in Derek Garrison. Our outside pole sitter, Hermie Sadler, in a battle for 4th right now with the other Converse, the father of Christian Converse, Jeff Converse, in the 96. Hermie's going to fall back to 5th. It's going to be very interesting tonight with how the Xfinity race went on Wednesday. You know, the Cup cars are a lot different. Higher downforce, lower horsepower. So the bottom's going to be the way to go tonight. You just can't really work the top as good as you would in the Xfinity cars. So it's going to be very different for those guys that ran the Xfinity race, but obviously there are some people that have just showed up for the Cup race. And so far, Mike's going to challenge Converse a little bit. He pulled in. He closed the gap just a little bit, but Christian's going to go ahead and lead into lap number 3. So far, a pretty strong performance from our pole sitter. We'll go on board with the 74 of Mike Aiello. Mike's just one of those guys. He's very good to watch. Very fun to watch, too. He's very good at saving his equipment as well. He's always focused on the long runs every week. It's extreme. He's just got that good mindset for making sure that he finishes the race well instead of just showing up front and maybe being a comer and goer. So he's just one of those great competitors out there. Christian, he shows up every now and then. You know, schedules don't really align. He's very fast, though, when you do see him on track. He dominated that Xfinity race at Indianapolis a few weeks ago. Great to watch. Super fast everywhere he is. So far, he'll continue to lead. Mike in second, third, Garrison. 4th will be Jeff Converse and Hermie Sadler in 5th. A little bit of a 3-car battle going on for 5th with Ira Kohlhaas in the 66 and the 78 of Kevin Winter. Obviously fun to see the Sadler brothers make an appearance, especially Hermie. Hermie's also one of those guys that focuses on the long run. He's very good with pit strategy. You know, he loves to try and, do those fuel-saving strategies and save his tires for the long run. And he'll come out of nowhere, too. He'll kind of just ride along in the back, and then once it gets to go time and you want to be up front, he'll be right up there for the win. it'll be interesting to see how Hermie performs tonight. Is right along this pack of 3 that's about to join them to battle the 66, Joseph Murata, the Xfinity title winner from Wednesday night. Right now running in the 8th position. It's obviously a good week for him. You know, great for the series, and that family's fighting flu number 5 Chevrolet Camaro. We're going to jump back up to our leader, who's still a little bit under pressure from Mike. It's going to be very hard to pass with the dirty air on Mike's car from the leader. Clean air is a big thing with these Cup cars, too. It's going to be very fun to watch to see the type of moves you're going to have to make to get up to somebody. And then fuel strategy as well is going to be huge, though it's very hard to save fuel with these cars with the low horsepower and keep speed, that is. Mike made a little bit of a charge. He got a little bit further up than he wanted to, and that's going to probably open up the door for the 8 of Derek Garrison. That is starting to open up a battle for second. He is a points leader in the Unified iRacing League on Saturday nights on this channel as well, so good to see him have a good run. Very strong. He loves these short tracks too. Well, when it's a short track, obviously he won last week at Phoenix on the low downforce package. He did really good at Bristol in the Xfinity race. But he's fast everywhere he goes. He tends to be up front in all the races that he's in. So far, 10 laps in, though, coming to lap 11. Christian Converse continuing to lead here at Homestead. Right now, we got Kevin Winter, who moved into 5th. He kind of was up on the top lane there for a little bit, trying to see if maybe he can find some speed up at the top. He ended up getting by Hermie Sadler there out of turn 4. They are mostly single file throughout the field other than a couple spots, but very early in the race, so you don't want to put yourself all out there and all on the line and tear up your equipment this early into the going. So we'll go ahead and we'll cut to a quick crank it up, and we'll be back here in a few laps. All right, and we are back. Christian Converse continuing to lead here at Homestead on lap number 15 of 125. Remember, you saw that stage break coming up on lap number 30. So once he completes lap 30, the caution will come out, and we'll rack him back up for a restart until The second competition caution, lap 65. So far, Christian's led every single lap. Mike's been trailing behind in second. He, started a little bit further back in row number 2, I believe. He was right up there with him, but Christian is just so fast. He's been able to gap the 74 over this run. That gap continues to grow. Derek M. Garrison continues to run in the 3rd position. 4th is going to be Jeff Converse. 5th is your Cup champion in Kevin Winter. We have Hermie in 6th. 7th is Ira Kohlhaas. 8th, Joseph Murata. 9th, Andy Brigante. And then Dan Witt rounds at the top 10 right now. So far, they're all single-filed out for the whole entire field from 1st to 14th. Christian just putting together a solid run right now, hitting all his marks and setting sail. If Christian is to win tonight, this would be his first win of the season. In Cup, so it'd be very cool for him to get his first win of the season in the final race before the next season kicks off at Atlanta in a few weeks for the spring and summer season. We'll take a look. We got a battle heating up for the 9th position between 4 cars. We got a blanket of cars behind Andy Brigante. That's Dan Witt in the 44, Leonard Frost in the 11, and Sean Huffstutler in the 94. As Brigante is going to lose that spot to the 44 of Witt. Looks like Frost is going to be able to get around with the 94, going to be able to follow suit. That doesn't surprise me at all that Leonard's back up there on the top. He ran the top lane for majority of the race in Xfinity. That's never abandoned it either. That was his lane. He really loves the top side here at Homestead. So if anyone's going to venture out tonight and run that top side and try and make it work, it's going to be him. He tried the whole race on Wednesday. So we'll hope he gets the same success in the Cup race tonight. Converse continuing to lead. He comes around to start lap 22. He has led 21 laps of 125. So far, it's going to look very tough to get him out of the lead, because he looks strong on the long run as well, and that's almost where he's gained more of his time. He's got a good pace. He's been able to keep up and keep everyone at bay, basically, and then be able to pull away and save his stuff. But obviously, there's going to be longer runs in the race when that 3rd stage comes around. They're starting to get a battle for second between Mike and Derek M. Garrison. Mike kind of fell back away from Christian, but Derek's kind of pulled in, but he hasn't been able to get around him. He's not too much faster, but he's reeled him in a little bit. We'll see how it goes to pass him. It just seems super hard to pass. Not a lot of lanes here at Homestead. It's not how Homestead is kind of in real life. It's more of a bottom feeders track in iRacing. You can kind of get the top to work if you're defending, but you can't really pass anybody up there. So the bottom lane is going to be the lane to win the race tonight. But Mike's going to be able to hold the 8 car at bay right now and hold on for the second position. Take a look along through the field. Got a battle for the 10th spot between Frost and Huffstutler here. They've both been kind of running the top. Leonard's been obviously a lot closer to the wall than the 94. Sean's been running a half a lane lower to see if maybe he can get up to the 11 and get around him. But it's going to be very difficult with how much momentum you carry on the top side to get a run on the bottom and get around him. You're going to have to be perfect. And the thing is, too, you have to clear them down the straightaway as well. You cannot stay side by side with them going into the corners, or they will beat you on momentum through the entire corner, and you'll have to try and make another attempt at it. But Leonard's starting to make that top side work. He got a little bit of speed and pulled away from the 94. And now the 8 of Derek Garrison has kind of jumped up a lane, trying to find some speed to close in on the 90 and the 74 in front of him. So there's going to be a lot of searching around the racetrack tonight to find speed, because right now the 90 is on rails. Christian Converse has led every lap now. Here at lap 28. Got a good sized gap between him and second place. As he'll cross the line, it'll be 2 to go until the stage ends, and we'll be under caution and rack him back up here. Little bit of a battle going on between Winter and Sadler right now. Hermes kind of closed the gap back in between Winter. Winter passed him earlier and kind of pulled away a little bit. Hermes just reeled him in a little bit. Hermes extremely good on the long run as well, so he'll be tough to beat. And if he can find some speed a little bit on the shorter runs, or just gets the good track position, I think Hermes can be tough to get around as the run goes on. As we are on the final lap of the stage. Converse will sail into turn number 3. And coming out of turn 4, a perfect segment for Christian Converse.
Caution, yellow flag.
So we'll go ahead and send you to a commercial break here, and we will be back shortly here on Extreme Sim TV. 33 laps complete here at Homestead Miami Speedway for Extreme Sim TV's coverage of the LSRL Families Fighting Flu Cup Series presented by Butt Kicker. Use promo code LSRL at www.thebuttkicker.com for 20% off your purchase. Butt Kicker, feel what you've been missing. And the race off pit road is won by Christian Converse. Mike Aiello is going to pull out in second. Third will be Derek Garrison. Fourth is going to be Jeff Converse. Fifth, Kevin Winter. Sixth, Hermie Sadler. Seventh is Ira Kohlhaas. Eighth, Joseph Murata. Ninth, coming off pit road, is going to be Dan Witt. Then it's Andy Brigante, Kerry Moore, and Sean Huffstutler. And interesting to note, the 11 of Leonard Frost has acquired some damage to the front end. They got the whole hood torn off of it, but not the front end, so that's very interesting. I'm not really quite sure how he got that damage. We didn't catch that on the broadcast. He would had to have hit someone under yellow, maybe, or something. Just an odd occurrence on a bizarre night, and it looks like he just drove into the tire barriers there. He missed pit road, maybe just misjudged it. I'm unsure as to how that happened. Maybe he was, he just wasn't decided on whether or not he was going to pit and maybe ran into it or something, but an odd occurrence on what's been already a bizarre night here for the season finale. For the LSRL Families Fighting Flu Cup Series. As they should be getting the 1 to go signal next time by. Your leader is Christian Converse, who's led every single lap along the way. Lights on the pace car are off. The restart is going to be controlled by the leader, so Christian can go anytime he wants once the pace car pulls off onto pit road. Be very interesting to see if anyone's going to be able to challenge for the lead, because he was able to get a good jump on the restart and just basically run away with it. No one could touch him. I mean, Mike was kind of there at the beginning of the run. He's going to have to maybe change his line or change something about the way he's running to be able to compete with the 90. But so far, unless there's any drastic changes, I think Christian should have the lead on lockdown. So it'd be fun to watch. 5th place, Kevin Winter, who's already locked up the title, but he's always fun to watch. Super fast. The reason he wasn't up there the first stage, he kind of drove his way up through the back because he did not qualify. So now he'll have an opportunity at the leaders here when he restarts 5th. And Christian will take off, and we're back underway here at Homestead. Great jump for Christian. He's going to get a good gap down into turn 1. Garrison's going to move into 2nd. And here comes Winter to 3rd. Mike, way up the racetrack there, had to hold on to it. He's able to keep it off the wall, and he'll hold on to 4th right now. Converse continuing to lead. Garrison 2nd, 3rd, Winter 4th, Mike Aiello, and 5th is Jeff Converse. Be very interesting to see. We should get if either Converse or Mike is able to pull into victory lane tonight. Well, even Jeff Converse, if any of those three in the top 5 pull away with the win tonight, it would be a first-time winner this season. Christian's looks strong, but he's got last week's winner on his tail in the A-Shock number 8. Garrison dominated that Phoenix race last week, so it's going to be interesting as he's going to jump up to the top. Oh, Converse closes the door. And there is a battle underway, a challenge for the lead. Garrison underneath Converse. The first time Christian's been able to get put off the bottom lane. And this could open up the door for a winner in third. What a good launch by Garrison. Great corner through 3 and 4. New leader, Derek M. Garrison in the 8. And that is going to cause Christian to fall back even more as now he's under pressure from Kevin Winter in the 78. So Winter now will move into second. So our Pulsar finally gets dethroned from the lead. And now we'll see what Derek M. Garrison has to offer in the top spot. And it just keeps on falling for Converse right now as now Mike looks to challenge him for third. Mike kind of got a little bit too high off of turn 4 there, and Christian was able to open up the gap just a little bit more. So far, Mike's been taking a different line than it seems the top 3. He's kind of going straight towards the bottom and kind of drifting out towards the wall, whereas the leaders just kind of arc it in right up, laying off the bottom. But he's been one of the only ones I've seen so far to dip all the way down to the bottom lane of the white line. As you have a battle behind him for 5th between the 96 and 66. That's Ira Kohlhaas in the 66 and Jeff Converse. And then behind them, a 3-car battle between Sadler, Witt, and Murata for 7th. Kohlhaas putting together a good run. He's been pretty strong. He hasn't run a lot of races so far with the LSRL this season. He just jumped on a few weeks ago after the Daytona 500. We got a battle for 8th right now between Joseph Murata and Dan Witt. Murata underneath the 44. See if he can get underneath him and pass him here. He's got a good run off of exit, but Witt's going to carry the momentum, and he might be able to clear him here down into turn 1. Dan Witt, also a new addition to the LSRL roster. Hopped on also with Ira after that Daytona 500. Obviously, Murata has been around for a while. And now we can say the defending Xfinity Series champ. Running in 8th. Able to pull away from the 44, and that completely gapped them to Hermie Sadler. Now Derek M. Garrison is starting to pull away with the lead since he's taking it away from Christian Converse. Winner runs second, Converse in third, looking to rebound from falling back a few spots. Not too bad. He's still in the top 3, obviously. But it gets in your mind really quickly once you get past after you've led a good majority of the race like that, too. So he's just got to recollect himself and be able to get back up there. Everyone just kind of searching for speed on the racetrack. That seems to be the trend right now, is that if you take the lead, you kind of pull away a little bit. It's really hard to get back to you. So some guys are just going to try and search around for maybe different lines, or just see if they can open up a different lane to see if they can gain anything on the leader. once they are able to pull away a little bit. Take a quick run through your top 10. Right now we have Derek M. Garrison in first, second, Kevin Winter, third, Christian Converse, fourth, Mike Aiello Jr., fifth, Ira Kohlhaas, sixth, Jeff Converse, seventh, Hermie Sadler, eighth, Joseph Murata, ninth, Dan Witt, and Sean Huffstutler rounding out the top 10. These are all single file throughout the 14-car field. Garrison continuing to lead. Next competition caution will come out at lap 65. We are almost 15 laps away from the end of this stage. And we got a pass for second. Christian Converse underneath Kevin Winter. There's contact a little bit. Winter goes up the racetrack. That was almost really bad, and he almost tags the wall. He's going to have to check up big time. So obviously some contact there and maybe some tempers. Who knows? We'll see if Winter gets back. Maybe, race him a little bit harder now. But Converse on the move and back to second. We'll see if he's going to be able to run down our leader in Derek M. Garrison in the 8. See if Winter's dropped off any a little bit. He's fallen back to Mike in 4th. Maybe used up his tires a little bit. We'll see, but he's starting to get caught a little bit by the 2 behind him, being the 74 of Mike and the 66 of Ira Kohlhaas. Ira's put together some good runs since he's joined this league. He's had a couple top 3s. He's almost gotten interviewed pretty much every race. The 66 car seems to be a threat for the top 3 every week. It's nicknamed Big Country, so, very fun to watch, very fun to listen to whenever he's on the racetrack. So we'll see where he ends up tonight. He's had a good run so far, but hasn't quite scratched the top 3, but he'll be able, if he searches around, he should be able to find some speed to get up there. But Garrison continues to lead. And last time by, Converse was almost 2/10 faster, so he's reeled him in a little bit. Not sure if it's going to be enough to get him by the end of the stage or not. The Converse looking to maybe challenge Garrison for the lead here in the long run. That's how Mike Christian was just a tad bit faster. By about 5/100ths of a second. So not even a tenth, but just a little bit of time. So Garrison able to manage the gap back to second pretty well. And time by almost a tenth there, about a tenth of a second faster that time for Converse. So he is faster than our leader, but he's not catching him at a rate that's going to put him ahead of him by the end of this stage. As we are on lap 56 of 125 here at Homestead. Garrison continuing to lead. Converse second. Third is Winter. Fourth, Aiello. And fifth is Kohlhaas. Kohlhaas is starting to catch the 74 of Mike. He might be able to get around him here. Reeled him in a little bit. Mike's just kind of been sliding up off the bottom. And here he comes. The 66 is there. Underneath the 74 going into turn one. Mike's going to be able to defend on the top. He's got the momentum on his side. Mike was actually able to pull away a little bit. We'll see. The 66 has been faster than him. It might heat up to a 3-car battle here. Winner's in the wall a little bit down the front straightaway. Seems like everyone's kind of just trying to jump up. They kind of start the run down there at that bottom lane, about a lane off the bottom, and they kind of jumped up to the top as the run goes on. See if the 66 is able to get around the 74 this time. He's right up on him, maybe trying to set him up on exit because Mike's been sliding up off the bottom. That's probably where Ira's going to be able to want to make this pass. Mike gave him about a lane up off the bottom. Ira's running a little bit lower. That's going to give him some good exit speed. He's there, going to side draft him a little bit down the back straightaway. It's not quite there. It's so hard to pass when he's got the momentum on the top, but he slid up a little bit. This is an opening for the 66. We are 5 laps away from the conclusion of stage number 2. Yeah, Mike really slid up that time. That's going to really open up the door, but he's going to get a better run off. So hard to get around someone here. He's going to have to side draft him, it feels like, if he's going to get around him. Just try and maybe pull him back behind you going into the corner. You might have a shot at getting around him. But he's done a good job so far. They just continue to be side by side. Might be able to slide up there. Mike's got a little bit of a run on the top, but I think going into 1 and 2 here, Ira's going to be able to clear him unless Mike really drives it in. He's going to slide up in front of him. Mike's going to go for a bit of a crossover. I just don't think he's going to get there. And Big Country, Ira Kohlhaas moves into 4th. 3 laps before the conclusion of stage 2. Meanwhile, the 8 of Derek Garrison continues to lead here at Homestead. Christian was a little bit faster than him kind of in the middle of this run, but now he's about a 10th slower than Derek, so Derek's going to good job of managing his tires throughout the run and not falling off on the long run. As now he has taken 2 to go in the stage. So far, the trend's just been, if you get the lead, you sort of pull away. You've had one challenge for the lead, that being earlier this stage when Derek Garrison was able to get around Christian Converse on the restart. Oh, just like Converse in stage 1, he was able to set sail and lead majority of the stage. As he goes into turn 3, clear racetrack ahead of him. Derek Garrison will win stage 2 here in the season finale. And we're going to take a quick commercial break and we'll be back here at Homestead. All right, and we're back here to settle things out here at Homestead in the season finale of the LSRL Families Fighting Flu Cup Series. Kevin Winter was able to take the lead on that set of pit stops, and Christian Converse no longer in the race. So, unfortunately, he had a very good stage one, a good race. Pace car is on pit road, and green is out. Kevin Winter will lead us down. Obviously, tough break there. Christian was very fast. He had a shot to win tonight. The Winter's going to roar down into turn number 1 and 2. That is your Cup champion. That is in the lead right now by virtue of Cameron Hearn being absent, unsure as to why, and we hope everything's okay, and very concerned as to why. It's just not like Cameron to not be here, so obviously hope things are well with him, and what a great season he ran with 11 wins. But Winter continuing to lead, and we got a battle for third right now between Ira Kohlhaas and Mike Aiello. So Ira able to pull away in the third position. See if you can get a shot at Derek Garrison, but right now Kevin Winter continuing to lead. Right now the top two have all won a race in this season in Cup. They both have one win apiece. Kevin Winter winning at Charlotte, and then obviously last week's winner, Derek Garrison, won at Phoenix. We have a couple of guys looking for their first win, and running right behind the 66 is the 44 of Dan Witt. Was also, like I said earlier in the broadcast, in addition, after the LSRL Daytona 500. And so far, seems to be his best run he's put together right now, running in the fifth position here. A good run for Dan. As Ira's starting to reel in the 8 a little bit. The battle for second heats up. Everyone's been pretty flawless once they get up to the front. These guys have just run pretty good races. It's been very hard to get to the leader once they've taken the lead and just pulled away. Be interesting to see, though, now this is stage 3, it goes green all the way to the end. It'll be the longest run of the race unless a caution comes out. So pit strategy could be a factor in tonight's finish. And we could see someone come out of nowhere from the back to win this. We'll give you a quick rundown of the top 10 right now as it runs. It's Kevin Winter in first, Derek Garrison second, third, Ira Kohlhaas fourth, Mike Aiello Jr. fifth, Dan Witt, sixth, Andy Bergante, seventh, Joseph Murata, eighth, Jeff Converse, ninth, Leonard Frost. Good to see him recover after that mishap entering pit road after stage number 1. And rounding out the top 10 is Sean Huffstutler. Right behind him, we have Hermie Sadler. This is the lowest Hermie's been all night, and you have to think, as I said earlier in the broadcast, he's done it pretty much for most of the races he's been in this season with the LSRL. He's a fuel strategy and a tire management guy. He loves saving his stuff for the end, so if anyone's going to try to win on strategy tonight, it's going to be Hermie Sadler. We'll just have to see how that pans out. So far, Garrison's been able to pull away from the 66 just a little bit. Winner's pulling away that gap between him and Garrison by a significant amount, by over a second. Kevin Winter's been on the charge today. He went from the back to the front, basically, as he did not qualify. He started around 10th, and he's charged his way all the way up to the first position. He's made contact with the wall down the back straightaway. Could be a costly mistake now, as he has damage on the right side of that car, so hopefully it does not affect the handling too much, but we'll see if he loses time now to Garrison in second. But right now, that's going to seem like that might be the only type of way that someone's going to lose the lead tonight, is by a mistake. The Winner's kind of managed that gap. He hasn't fallen too far back since hitting the wall. Obviously, I think pit strategy is going to be the big factor in who's going to finish higher tonight. Because right now we got a battle for 6th brewing up between Andy Brigante and Joseph Murata. But that's going to be the big key tonight. Obviously, tires are probably going to be pretty big on fall off here at Homestead. So some of these guys in the back may want to short pit to get ahead of the leader, and that might be the strategy to win tonight, because once they pull out to that big lead, it just seems so hard for the guy in second to run them down. So we'll see if anyone plays that strategy, and obviously we saw earlier, and still now, Hermie Sadler has fallen out of the top 10, and I'm almost 80% sure that that is strategy. That is fully Hermie's plan to save fuel, to try and make it to the end on one or no stop to win this thing. He tried it at Kentucky in Xfinity and didn't quite work out. They were just a little bit short, and he did do it in the Cup race too, but they just lost so much time on those newer tires. So that's going to be the thing, though, is if Hermie's able to save fuel, he has to manage the gap between the guys that pit, because they're just going to be so much faster, but you can't run too slow saving fuel either. So, but if anyone's going to do it, you got to count on the guy that's, done it in real life, in Hermie Sadler. And now the battle for the lead's brewing up, as Garrett Garrison has now run down and caught the 78 of Kevin Winter. And he is all over the back bumper of him going into turn 1. So we'll see if that is the damage that's affecting him. But Winter really hasn't been as good as Garrison on the long run. And that was kind of Winter's problem last week at Phoenix. He lost the race to Garrison last week on older tires on that long run. He just wasn't able to hold on and save those tires for the end, and he was slideways at the end of that race. I mean, I ended up beating him. I finished 5th, and he was 6th, and he was far better than me that race the whole night. But now he's starting to fall back, and now Garrison is starting to check out with the lead here. Garrison already led majority of the race in stage number 2, as that was a 35-lap stage compared to stage 1, which is a 30-lap stage. With Garrison continuing to lead. Second is Winter. Third, Cole Haas. Fourth is going to be Mike Aiello. Fifth, Dan Witt. Still having that good run right now. It's the best run that Witt's put together in the few races that he's running. Now Winter has a major issue. Super slow down the front straightaway. Down on the apron in turn 1. An issue with the 78. Unsure as to why. I think he missed pit road. So a huge mistake by Kevin Winter. As now, we talked about it, Garrison gonna short pit, so Derek Garrison on pit road along with Kevin Winter, but a huge mistake. Kevin Winter misses pit road. And his day's effectively done. As he's out of the race. He is disconnected. So a huge mistake that he knew was going to cost him, and I just feel like maybe he felt he was going to get a caution. I'm just not sure about that, but this is working out hugely in favor of the 8 car now, because with Winter gone, you know, obviously Winter making that mistake put him so far away. He's got a good gap, and Garrison was the first guy to come down pit road, so he's got that short pit strategy to where he's going to make up the most time at the beginning of this run. So Garrison is in the hot seat to win this race. As he'll go by Joseph Murad. That's not for position, though, as Murad is still yet to pit, along with all the other guys in front of Garrison. Had a few more takers down pit road, one of those being Ira Kohlhaas, and the other being Sean Huffstutler in the 94. Well, your leader right now is Mike Aiello Jr. in the 74. The first time Mike has been in the lead all day. Good to see him get out front and lead some laps. As we are coming to 32 laps to go. And obviously with how early those guys came down pit road, I would assume it's going to be very unlikely that they're going to make it on this run on fuel. We'll see. There could be someone that's going to be able to save it. It's just going to be a matter of time, but that's a huge amount of laps to be slower than the 8 by miles. Those fresh tires are just going to pay dividends for the 8 car, and he was already in the lead, so it's worked out big time for him. And here he goes by the leader to unlap himself, so now the 8 is back on the lead lap. So now if a caution is to come out, he does not have to worry about being in the free pass spot or lining up behind anybody. We got a battle for second going on. Jeff Converse underneath the 44 of Dan Witt down the back straightaway. Witt now see if he can get a run maybe on the 96. Converse able to get around him. Obviously, we saw one Converse in the lead earlier today. That was Jeff's son, Christian, in the 90. This is the highest Jeff's been in the running order all day long, moving up to second. Highest he had been before that was 4th. He had one more taker down pit road, that time by Joseph Murata, the Xfinity Series champion, has now come down pit road for service. And now here comes the 74, our leader, down pit road. So that is going to hand the lead off to the 94 of Jeff Converse. Now he'll lead a lap and get some points added on to his total. See how the strategy works out for them. Maybe if the thing now is they got to kind of run out on these tires long enough to where when they get on those fresh sets of tires that the leaders are going to be way slower than they are, so they have to. But then it's a balance because you have to then make up the gap that they put on you, and then the gap that you originally had on with them coming to pit road. I'm more of a fan of the short pit strategy because it just gains more time, and with these cup cars and just how it's been all night, the leaders just been able to maintain that gap and pull away. So unless someone is, unless we get a caution or someone's going to, go all the way on fuel and not get run down by the 8, it's very unlikely that this is going to work out. But Derek will have a little bit of a challenge. It's going to come from the 66 of Ira Kohlhaas. They have already made their stops. Kohlhaas is about a straightaways length away from the 8, so Derek's got a lot of gap to manage between him and the 66. But it could happen. And still, the people that have yet to pit are Jeff Converse in the lead, Dan Witt in second, Andy Brigante in third, fourth, Hermie Sadler, and fifth, Leonard Frost, who has recovered from his mistake earlier at the end of stage 1. So Converse continues to lead. Now another one of those guys coming down pit road. He has a little bit of an issue, and into the pit wall goes the 24 of Andy Brigante. The second time someone has hit the pit wall tonight. Down on the inside wall, the 24 goes. We'll see if we can get a quick replay of that. He just kind of locked him up and slid down there, and then just right into that opening to the garage area. Just so unfortunate that those openings are there, but this came in a little bit too hot. It's very easy to make mistakes, just transitioning from that banking down to a flat surface, and he was along for the ride. So a bit of a costly mistake time-wise for the 24, but he'll be able to repair that damage on pit road. But he has not been the first so far to have issues with the wall tonight on pit road. So as they run right now, Garrison would still cycle out to be your leader, with Kohlhaas being behind him. Aiello third, fourth Huff Stutler, but again, that is if these guys in the lead pit. Right now, Converse keeping a good gap with these guys. As now he's under fire from Joseph Murata, but going to let him by as Murata is on extremely fresher tires than the 96. We are 22 laps away from the conclusion of the season finale here for the LSRL Families Fighting Fluke Cup Series. You got to continue to wonder if these guys can make it on fuel. They have a good gap between those guys that have pitted so far. They haven't lost too much time. So if they are able to make it, they are within a good range to make it to the end and win. But then it's a matter of who saved enough. Because right now there's only 3 cars on this strategy being, 4 cars actually, being Jeff Converse, Dan Witt, Hermie Sadler, and Leonard Frost. Meanwhile, we have Joseph Murata moving into the 8th position. He just got that pass made over Sean Huffstetler in the 94. Pass happening right in front of our leader, Jeff Converse. And I would want to see maybe we can get on board with one of these 4 that are on this run right now to see if they're using the clutch at all or how much they're kind of letting off the throttle and gas here. And we'll go on board with Dan Witt. To see how much they're trying to conserve fuel. So far, he really isn't on the clutch, and that's the thing with these Cup cars too, is you don't want to lose too much time because of the way these cars are. It's more momentum racing than anything. But he's not really full throttle down the straightaway. He's maybe got 90% throttle. He gets off, just kind of coasts around the corner, and then gets back in the gas. I just don't know if that's going to save them enough fuel, though. It's going to be very interesting to see if he can make it or not, along with the 3 others that are on this strategy. We'll see. Army Sadler putting together a good run. Could he make this strategy work and pull off his first win of the season here in the Families Fighting Flu Cup Series? He was close before, and maybe a little bit interesting that I'm in the booth to talk about it, but obviously Hermie would have won a race if he did not get black flagged for changing lanes before the restart back at Michigan. The person who beat him that night was me. So that was a little bit of an interesting scenario. Obviously, he played a good tire strategy to get on that. I was on the same tire strategy with him, and he inched me out at the line, but it didn't matter as he jumped up to the top lane and changed lanes and passed before the start-finish line on that restart, which effectively took the win away from Hermie. And obviously looking to make up for that tonight if he can win on this strategy and make it to the end on fuel. Now the battle for the lead's kind of heating up. Jeff Converse has gotten run down by Dan Witt. So it's going to be interesting now because with these guys battling, they got to save fuel too. So you don't want to run. The thing is, if they run each other too hard, they'll run each other out of fuel. And that is one of the worst possible things that could happen. But here comes Dan. And Witt will clear him, no issues. So Dan Witt, the new leader here at Homestead. So Converse falling back into second, but kind of concerns me a little bit if he dropped off his pace. That obviously wasn't, he was running slower. I feel like he dropped his pace to save more fuel. So that's got to raise some questions if these guys are going to make it. It's going to be close, though. They're coming to 12 laps to go. They got to make it 12 more laps to be able to pull this off. And Dan has set sail, so he has no pressure behind him. He's going to be able to save fuel, and he's ducking down to pit road. So Dan Witt not going to be able to make it on fuel. So that group of 4 now down to 3. So Dan Witt not even going to be able to lead a lap there as he took the lead down the back straightaway, but was not able to maintain the lead to the start-finish line, so no extra points to his name. But it's very concerning. Converse is starting to clutch. I heard it going down there into turn 3, but there's one issue. Here comes the 8 of Derek Garrison. He's just moved into 3rd over Leonard Frost. He has closed the gap to the leaders. He's way faster than him. He doesn't have to clutch in the corners. He knows he can make it. So unless something dramatic happens here at the end, Derek Garrison should be able to run these guys down. We'll see. Obviously, he's got to get around Hermie Sadler first. Right there off of turn 4. Garrison going to get around Hermie, no problem. Hermie obviously still trying to make sure he has enough fuel to get there to the end. It's not over yet, though. Garrison still has to maintain his gap between him and the 66 of Ira Kohlhaas as well. Ira running not too far behind him. Well, obviously now Garrison having 2 cars between him and the 66. We'll see how it goes. Obviously, Converse continuing to try and clutch to see if he can make it. 9 laps to go, coming to 8 laps to go. This is it. It's crunch time now for the 96. He's got to save fuel, but I just don't know at this point. There's so many laps left. He's still got to make sure he makes it. He just can't battle the 8 or else he's just going to run himself out of fuel. And Garrison knows that, and there he goes down to the inside of the 96 and clear. New leader, Derek Garrison in the 8. Who knows, though, if the 66 is going to be able to run down the 8. He's just got such a good gap, and Ira's still not gotten by the 9 of Hermie Sadler yet for the 3rd position. Also, Leonard Frost, who is also on the same strategy as the 9 and 96, has come down pit road for service. We'll see if Ira Kohlhaas has anything to say about Derek Garrison pulling off back-to-back wins here in the LSRL Families Fighting Flu Cup Series. Here comes Kohlhaas now underneath Converse for 2nd. Is it going to be enough? 5 laps to go for Derek Garrison. He can just hold on and win the season finale here at Homestead. The gap between him and Kohlhaas is 3 seconds. 4 laps to go. That time by, he was a tad bit faster than Kohlhaas as well. Almost about half a tenth. So Garrison continuing to put on the gap between him and the 66. And obviously Mike Aiello is fallen to 3rd now, as those guys continue to try and save fuel. The 96 of Jeff Converse slow on the racetrack. We'll see if he's able to limp back down to pit road. This could be huge if he brings out a yellow, but he's out of fuel. down on the apron. It looks like he's going to be able to make it on the pit road. No issues, so no caution. Now you got to wonder if Hermie can make it. Where he runs out could be a huge factor in who wins this race. Two laps to go for Derek Garrison. If he gets back to the line and takes the white flag, he won't have to worry about a caution. He just got to hope. He's got his fingers crossed right now as he goes through 3 and 4. Down the front straightaway. White flag, 1 to go here in the winter season of the LSRL Families Fighting Flu Cup Series. Derek Garrison continuing to maintain the gap between him and Cole Haas as it's down to 3.5 seconds into turn 3 for the final time tonight. And coming out of turn 4, Derek Garrison is going back-to-back in the Cup Series. He wins his second race of the year in the LSRL Families Fighting Flu Cup Series. So congrats to Derek Garrison, leading 40 laps on to his victory tonight here at Homestead. And for those wondering, Hermie Sadler was able to make it on fuel to the end there. He ended up 4th at the line. So we'll go ahead and pull up our top 3 for interviews. We'll start off with our 3rd place finisher in Mike Aiello. Hey, Mike, it's Landon in the booth. You got a copy?
I sure do. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Obviously, you came in with 3rd tonight. Great run for you. You were up front pretty much most of the race. What do you think you could have done differently tonight, or where you could have gained speed to maybe contend for the win there?
We were before Kevin fell out, the 4 of us were all about the same speed. So it really was the first 2 stages we were playing with each other. And then this last one was just strategy. And I thought I had them. You saw me coming back. When they pitted with on lap 89, they basically were trying to go a full fuel tank. And when I thought they'd come in, split it in half, about 95. They didn't. They came in at 89, and I said, okay, if I can make it to 97, I'm going to be really, really close to catching up to these guys. And it was a close call. I think we were all the same speed. I think I had the fastest lap of the race. So, the speed was there. It was just a matter of how you handled that last long run, and missed it by a little bit, but very, very pleased with the Bay Racing number 74 team. We finished 3rd tonight. We finished 3rd for the season. So very pleased with that.
Obviously, a great run for you. It's great to see you run up there and obviously come up with another top 3 finish this year. Anyone you want to thank, and anything you like to say here at the season finale here at Homestead?
Well, thank you to you guys for doing a fabulous job broadcasting. Thank you to Anthony and Joe for adminning the league so well, John in the tower, and special thanks out to Kieran, my crew chief for life, and my mom, my number 1 fan.
Obviously, good run for you tonight, and obviously great people behind you. And it's always good to hear from those people and, give them a shout out. But, thank you for, taking your time to come out for the interview in the booth, and catch you next season probably, right?
Oh, I'll absolutely be here. I loved running with these guys. It's always clean, competitive, and that's what makes it exciting.
And well, you have a good one, and we'll let you go here, and we'll talk to our 2nd place finisher, Ira Kolas. But that was Mike Aiello Jr., everybody, finishing 3rd tonight in the 74. Hey, Ira, it's Lane in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir. I got you.
Then 4, obviously a great run tonight. Finished second. You've had a great debut to the series so far. I mean, it seems like you finished top 3 in almost all your starts. You're up here in the booth a lot, and take us through that last run and maybe what you think you could have done differently to maybe get to Derek there at the end.
I was talking with my brother who was spotting for me about when we were going to pit. And we were discussing, and I knew I wanted to be the first car down pit road, and he went one lap before I wanted to, and I was like, man, that's it right there. I wanted to be the first car down on pit road. I know the 78 missed his pit. And then as we were talking about what lap we should pit, whether it would be the next one or the one after, Derek went on ahead and went down, and I was like, man, that 7/8 of a second he gets on that first lap on those tires might be it.
Yeah, that was kind of the theme of tonight. Just once someone got the track position up front, they were just able to pull away. We saw with a couple of different guys, Christian in stage 1, and then Derek in stage 2, and then obviously the last run. But that's what I thought too, is if he short pitted and he was going to gain a lot of time and it'd just be very hard to catch him. But, you still had a great run, and thought maybe you'd be able to run him down there at the end. You've just been on fire these last couple of races. And obviously, I know you're going to come back next season and, do great things as well. But anyone you want to shout out or thank before we close out the season here?
Yeah, we've had a good debut to this series. I think both of the Xfinity One races and the Cup races. I've been up here talking to you guys in the booth, and looking forward to next season. Definitely had a good strong run. I've got sponsors that are on the car, and they know who they are, but I'm not going to take my time to thank them tonight. Got to give a shout out to somebody special that should be watching. If he's not, we're going to get on to his daddy. But Braxton, you got a lot of people who are in your corner on this whole deal, man. We're all thinking about you and praying for you, and we know with the support group that you got going, you're going to pull through it. So just keep your head up and do what your mom and daddy tell you, and you'll be fine, bub.
Absolutely great message. It's fun to see. It's cool to thank everybody too that gets you here and make sure that they get the thanks they deserve. But it's been great talking to you, and good. Congrats on your second place finish. I got to work on my interviewing here, but
all right, thank you guys. You guys do a good job up there. Keep it up.
Thank you, Ira. That was Ira Kohlhaas, nicknamed Big Country, finishing second tonight. Good. That's going to be it for interviews, as we do not have Derek Garrison available. But we'll go ahead and just wrap it up. Obviously, a great season so far with the LSRL, and congratulations to our 2 champions at the end of both seasons, being Joseph Murata in Xfinity and Kevin Winter in Cup. Still concerned. Hopefully everything's all right with Cameron, and what a great season he ran. It's just unfortunate that he was unable to try and defend what should have been rightfully his title with a great season. I mean, it's unheard of to win 11 races, and after my win at Michigan, winning 5 straight, he was just unstoppable, and he's just that type of racer. But congrats to those that have done good this season, all the winners. Thank you to all the admins at LSRL, and I'd like to thank our sponsors: Families Fighting Flu, Wilder Graphics, Butt Kicker, Grid Finder, SimSpeedShop.com. And this has been Extreme Sim TV's coverage of the season finale here at the Families Fighting Flu Cup Series. I'm Lanny Quisameri. Thank you to Matt for letting me come in and fill in for him. Obviously, he was not a little bit under the weather today, so couldn't commentate. But thank you for him, letting me in the booth and running cameras tonight. And thank you all for watching. And we will see you all next time here on Extreme Sim TV.